down. I love pitching. I love winning. And it's very close to my heart. But without a doubt, the tender and the pitch process, it takes years off your life. It's an all or nothing thing, isn't it? You win. You've put your life, your soul into it. But if you come second, who cares? You lose. So I have 9.5 minutes to, I suppose, look over the last 30 years and share with you, I think, the essential elements or ingredients that I think are fundamental to winning. And so we're going to be looking at kind of story crafting and storytelling. This is all about the moment, you know, the moment of putting your ideas across. Now, we've heard a lot about this, I'm sure, from a lot of presenters, that a key thing when you are pitching to the C-suite is to understand their needs. Interrogate, be obsessed, understand their needs better than they do, yeah? And that's true. But I tell you, there's something more important. While you are going about understanding the customer's needs, I'll tell you what's more important. You are making relationships with the people who are going to let you win. So the key thing is not to find out about your customers' needs too much by looking at their websites and their apps. Get on the phone, get in their offices, and get on the video and build. Yesterday, it was a bit frightening. Brian yesterday said, instead of 6 people who are fundamental to making the decision, it's now 11. So you should have a campaign to find those 11 people and ask and find their needs. So they start to think, wow, really intelligent people, such great questions. And here's the key thing. I can feel their passion. They want to tear off their arms and legs to win my business. So when you walk in the door for that face-to-face, they feel like they already know you. I truly believe this, and I say this to my team. I reckon at least 40% of the win is done before you even walk in the door because of the relationships you build, founded around the excuse, which is the customer needs to have those conversations. Hopefully that makes sense. When you are crafting your story, you must do this. And I think this is essential to the brand personality. You must start fresh. Sometimes you read the brief, you think, oh my God, this week's work's going to kill me. Who's done this before? Let's go and have a look for the old PowerPoint. And I say this to you, don't do that. Don't reach for the old PowerPoint. Don't reach for other people's ideas. What it does, the minute you do that, you close down your innovation. You really close down your creativity. The challenge is the fresh piece of paper. Yeah? I'm not saying ignore those other people's stories and other people's PowerPoint, but don't go there first. Don't go there for a while. And while we're talking about start, I really think this is a great way to win. When you're doing a pitch, start at the end. Now, what do I mean by starting at the end? I mean, imagine that the client has bought you already. He's bought or she's bought your fantastic solution, and they're using it. And then, right on the walls, everything they're saying. Wow, have so transformed my business. The mobility solutions are amazing. We're making so much more money. The business has grown by so much. The ease of use, the ease of access. Imagine all of those things that the client's saying because they love you so much. And then you can see the emotion and you become the client. And then you go, okay, if that's what I, as the client, are thinking, feeling, and saying and doing, what's the solution? So you start at the end, not held back. Don't worry about the products. Don't worry about, is it possible? You just think, well, if that solution delivers those emotions, I'm on a winner. And if any of my competitors look at that solution, they're shaking in their boots. So start at the end, and then, now you know where you're heading, then build the journey towards that destination, which means the whole team that's putting this knows where they're going, knows what the ambition is. Define the headlines and the journey first. Work backwards. I really think that's the key thing. And do this. So often with the C-suite, and I'm sure even more so with you folks, you're not talking to technical people. You're talking to CMOs. You're talking to chief financial officers. And if you blind them with a lot of acronyms, then you're going to bore the hell out of them. Yeah? So that's the story crafting. What about the point, the face-to-face? And everybody, I hate this. When people say, oh, the presentation is ready, I go, well, you're going to lose already. Because if you go into a pitch and you present, you will lose. Because a presentation is a deck of slides and it's boring. What am I doing now? I'm performing. And everybody told me before I got on stage, Simon, they said, calm down. I'm just not that calm. But I tell you what I am. I'm damn full of energy and I'm damn full of passion. A pitch is a performance. It's choreographed. The parts are played out. The emotions are understood. It's not a presentation. And I'll tell you this, what drives me mad, you put months, weeks of work, thousands of pounds into crafting this story, and then you all meet for 2 hours, rehearse it, and think that's enough. Oh, you should put the same amount of effort into crafting the performance. And what does that mean? Folks, it means this. It means rehearse like crazy. Not meet once, meet twice, meet thrice. Put hours, put days in. For a multi-million-pound contract, why wouldn't you? If rehearsal is going to be acceptable and work well, you also have to do this. Take the emotion out of the room. Because, Bill's going to do his part, and you need to be able to say to Bill, Bill, you haven't learnt your words. There's not enough passion. Actually, you're being a bit frivolous. This client's like this. You need to be more serious. Perhaps you should do this standing up. You need to be able to give direct feedback and not take it personally. Because, you've only got one chance. You have to take the advice and improve your performance quickly. And there's a hell of a lot to think about. And you have to think about things. You have to think about the volume. You have to think about the tone. You have to think about the gestures. I'm Jewish, full of gesture. Yeah? You have to think about the rhythm. The pause. You have to think about the eye line. Make sure you're looking at the right people, not just at the CMO. You've got to have energy. They want to think, wow, these people so want our business. There's so much to think about, and only feedback can help you get there. The other thing we do, which I don't think people do, and I think this is key, space and time. And I'm not talking about science fiction, though I love Star Wars and all of that. Space. Ring up the client, send them an email and say this. Can we get into the room early? When they say how early, you go, a couple of hours early? And they always go, no. Oh, an hour early? Okay. When we get into a room, because we're a creative communications agency, and we're putting on a performance, we need to create the theatre. We get into that room early and we see it works for us. We move the furniture around. We sometimes bring our own screens. We don't use PowerPoint. We often use models. We use visuals. We plaster the walls. We transform. We transform the room. So when the client walks in, it's a wow, but also we're in control. We know where they're sitting. Yeah? And the first thing we do when they sit down, apart from all the warm welcome, and you should even rehearse the warm welcome and the small chat, is I always ask them how much time they've got, because C-suite people are busy, and they don't care really about you. And they may have had a really bad day, and you think you've got 90 minutes, and suddenly you find you've about 40. The worst I ever had one time was we were told we had an hour and a half, and the guy came in, and he was a CMO, he said we had 20 minutes. Ask how much time you've got, and fight for your time. Time is really important. When they interrupt your presentation to ask a question, just say, great question. We're going to answer it, but we just want to do A to Z. What happens is they interrupt your presentation, you answer the question, you're thrown off course, you don't get the whole idea out, you're in a rush at the end, and you leave in a panic. Be assertive. So this is my final thing, and hopefully you've got a feel. Hopefully I've shared a few bits of advice. I love the pitch business. I'm an entrepreneur. Winning feeds the machine. But I know this, over those 25 years that I've run my largest business, you have to be in it to win it. Everyone has to be in it to win it. And I want to just tell you 30 seconds of a story that really brought it. We pitched about 6 months ago, and 10 minutes in, the fire alarm went, and we were all thrown out on the street. It was pouring with rain. We didn't have our laptops or anything. All of our props, all the work was left. And we thought, what are we going to do? And I said, come on. And there was a greasy spoon, Workman's Cafe right next to us. We put the clients in there. There was music playing. We bought them coffee. We sat them in the corner. And because every member of that team was in it to win it, had rehearsed every moment, and we won. So I wish you lots of success of being in it to win it, and taking that C-suite and making them eat your solutions for breakfast. Thank you very much.